So this is another talk about climate change. Who's excited? Yes? Climate change is dope. Okay, but it actually is though, and I know everyone's like, oh my god, climate change sucks, the world is dying, I can't get blueberries in season anymore, what's happening? Okay, yes, but climate change is actually kind of freaking awesome. Because the world is like a puzzle, and the more we mess up the world, the more I have come to realize what a beautiful, intricate puzzle this world really is. So I'm going to be talking to you guys about a little something called feedback loops. Alright, can I get an AO? AO! That's right, we just had our own little feedback loop going right there, okay? So the whole thing about climate change is sometimes people think, climate change, you know, whatever. We'll just pollute the earth until we're like, whoa, we've had enough, and then we'll stop and everything will be fine. But it doesn't work that way. There's a point of no return. And that's what the scientists are saying. But we're like, we're just gonna check our Instagram and watch another YouTube video instead. Basically, climate change is like a big issue of collective human procrastination. So I don't really see this as like humans are a bad thing. I just see this as humans going through their adolescent period where they actually learn discipline and teamwork and putting down the phone and actually implementing carbon taxes and buying electric cars or whatever. You know, it's okay, we're gonna get through this, guys. But we need to understand the problem. So, a little something called feedback loops. So how this works is basically, we all know how climate change works, right? Carbon goes up into the atmosphere, heat comes, gets trapped by the carbon, and keeps bouncing around the earth like a really excited toddler, can't escape, nowhere to go, and so the earth just gets hotter and hotter and hotter. And there are a couple mechanisms, a few mechanisms that are integrated into the biosphere, which is known as Earth, which when activated, cause more carbon to release and the Earth to get even hotter. So one of them being forests. We all live in BC, there's a bunch of beautiful forests, but what happens when the forests burn? Or eaten by pine beetles? Okay, you get the point. So what happens is when pine beetles what happens when pine beetles, sorry, I'm gonna stop. So what happens when the pine beetles eat the forest is when, you know, fires come, carbon is released in the atmosphere, there are no more trees to absorb the carbon. So, feedback loop number one. Have you guys seen that climate change graph where it goes like, and it kind of goes up like that, the carbon? Do you know why it goes down instead of straight up? It's because trees! I heard somebody say it. It's because when the earth is tilted to the sun, guys, come on, this is serious. When the earth is tilted to the sun, the trees are activated, their photosynthesis, and they absorb the carbon. So the carbon actually goes down. And when the earth is tilted away, the carbon goes up because the trees release the carbon. So every year the earth takes a big collective. It's pretty beautiful. I once actually, when I figured that out, I was like, oh my god, I've discovered when the earth is going to end because humans only take so many breaths in their life, so maybe the earth is only going to take so many breaths, but I did the math, it doesn't work out, don't worry, we're not going to die. So, there's that feedback loop. Another feedback loop is polar ice, which the polar bears like to sleep on, and that the heat likes to reflect off of, because white reflects the heat. So when the heat goes down, it hits the ice cap, and it bounces back up into space. But when there's no more ice caps, the blackness of the ocean absorbs the heat. It's like when you're going on pavement and you touch the pavement and the pavement is really hot, it's because it's black and the black absorbs the heat. And when the heat is absorbed by the ocean's warm and the fish dies and everything stinks. Okay? So paint the roofs of your house white or something. That is an actual idea that somebody proposed. Okay? Or just don't pollute the earth, whatever works. And finally, we have permafrost. Now, permafrost is cool because my time's running out. Feedback loops are a thing. Don't pollute the earth. Be good people. Okay?